You're listening to the Bring the Thunder podcast, a podcast by fans for fans.
Yes, you are. Welcome, everybody, to another post-game show from the Bring the Thunder podcast with the full Bring the Thunder panel up here tonight. Joe is celebrating. OKC has a giant win in Madison Square Garden, 103-100 over the Knicks, an incredibly close nail-biter game back and forth. Joe, give us the stat breakdown of this game.
Yeah, before we do start, I knew it was coming. See, I told you, Jack. I was telling Jack earlier today, the viewers need what is Jack wearing back, and it is officially back tonight. So we are locked and loaded tonight. Quick box score read before we get into the breakdown of quite a good game, honestly. Shea goes for 26 and 8, 9 of 16. Really made the right play, maybe not my favorite, but every time he was getting doubled and tripled, he kicked it to whoever was open, Wiggins, Lou, whoever. So good game by Shea. Chet goes for 28 and 8, 6 threes. That was unbelievable. Really good game by Chet Holmgren. Really carried OKC tonight. Funny enough, and he played last night. So really good from Chet Holmgren. The bench, that was a problem today. Well, Lou goes for 16. We'll shout out Lou, even though Sabir's probably going to talk about him later. The bench was a problem. They looked a bit tired. Joe goes for 4, 0 for 5 from the field. Wiggins 2 for 4, 6 points. J-Will had good minutes. Good play in his minutes, 8 and 5 in 18 minutes. McCain 5, Caruso 3, whatever. Big story of this game is Hartenstein didn't play. He played 17 minutes, and that's probably due to the fact that the Knicks were running small, but very interesting. And then on the Knicks side, really quick, we'll shout him out. Brunson goes for 16 and 15 assists. Shout out OKC's defense, 5 of 18 from the field on Jalen Brunson. Outstanding night defensively. Towns 17 and 17. He fouls out late. Good job attacking him, but he had a game. Bridges for 16, Shamet for 14. That's really it. But really good win. Now you could probably get J-Dub and AJ back this weekend. I know AJ for sure is coming back this weekend. J-Dub seems to be. So all signs point to the OKC going on a nice win streak here. 1-4 in a row, and we're off to the races.
I just wanted to point out that Hartenstein and Caruso left the game in the middle of the game due to injuries, so that's why
Hartenstein did leave.
Yep. Left calf tightness. I don't know what's going on.
What happened?
My bad. I was trying to look at myself, and I just made myself really big on the screen. So.
Oh my god! Anyway, that's not good news. Obviously, you mentioned Caruso down. We knew that. What happened to Hartenstein? I didn't even see it.
It just says left calf tightness, and that's what he's been dealing with this whole season. So
me, man. You gotta be kidding me.
That'll be a couple games, I reckon.
That's no bueno. But back to tonight, Gabe. Your thoughts on how it went down? I think it was just both teams. I think we need to see both these teams like fully fresh and ready to go because both teams are coming off a game from last night. Looked a little shaky. They kind of just toughed it out, but obviously OKC gets a dub. Your thoughts on tonight?
Yeah, before I even get into the matchup itself, this is what I desperately need from Chet Holmgren every single night. I mean, and it's not just the 6 threes. Yes, the 6 threes are nice, but if you were listening to the commentators, they mentioned it as well. He was aggressively looking for mismatches. He was aggressively posting up, nailing that beautiful post fade that I love that he takes. This is the most confident I've ever seen Chet tonight. I mean, this reminded me of the buzzer beater game against Golden State that he hit where everything he was putting up was just with confidence. And that's how it felt tonight. That's what I need from Chet every game. Like, I don't care if he's missing his threes. Like tonight, yeah, the 6 threes, obviously game changer, but that's not what it was for me. It was the fact that he played so aggressive, so confident, always taking people off the dribble, posting up. We need him to post up. Like, he's so good when it gets in the paint, and that fade is just nasty. So Chet, all the flowers to him tonight. But as for the matchup, I hope this is a preview of the finals because this will be a fun finals. Like, this Knicks team is fun to play against. Like, I don't think they're dirty. I don't think they're cheap. They match the physicality that we do. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's a team that's just going to complain every single time. I mean, they complained a lot, but everyone does. But it was more like they understand that if they're going to beat us, they have to match the physicality. Right. They can't just complain about it. They can't just yell at every ref. They have to match it, and they did. They absolutely matched the physicality tonight. I mean, we were taking hits that we were given just as much, and that's the kind of basketball I want to see. Like, that's fun. The Knicks are an incredible team. They're a fun team to watch. Like, I just like watching this team. So while I might agree with you, Unk, it doesn't mean I don't want to see it. Like, I think that'd be a fun series. And frankly, what does it for us overall is I do think we have Jalen Brunson's number. Like, every time we play him, I think that's what we're the best at, is keeping him away from the hoop. And that's something that if you watch Brunson against us and then compare him to any other team that he plays against, he takes some horrific shots against us. Like, the forced shots that he has to put up against us are crazy. Some of the shots he put down tonight, the late shot clock 3 over Kaysen was ridiculous. There's just some shots that he hits that you're very okay with living with those. So ultimately, this is such a good matchup, but we got the better of them tonight, and we were the less healthy team as well, which is something that's really nice to see. I'm really glad to see Shea and Chet play the way that they did. That right there was the best duo in the NBA tonight.
Do you guys want to hear something crazy before we continue?
Let's hear it.
I had 0 points in Prop Wars tonight.
Let's go.
I'm not surprised.
What do you mean you're not surprised? I'm number 2. Anyway, yeah, Jack, you were
I
going
can't
to
talk
go.
about shit anymore. Yeah, no, I just wanted to build off what Gabe was saying about Casey Wallace's defense. Like, it was elite on Jalen Brunson. He was taking stupid shots. I call them stupid shots, but we're forcing him into like Shea type shots. And then in the fourth quarter, I did not like the lineup. I know Seth definitely wants to talk about this, but I did not like the lineup of Shea, Caruso, and Dort on the court. Oh no, Shea, Kaysen, and Dort on the court all at the same time. I think Kaysen was doing enough on the defensive end to not need Dort, and Dort was doing some questionable offensive plays when he threw the ball at the hoop or all the fouls. Yeah, there was a lot to unpack there, and it took him fouling out to get him out of the game, which was a bit of a head scratcher. And I mean, Isaiah Joe was in there as well, and he hadn't had the best game. I mean, Wiggins had finally had a solid game, made a 3 for the first time in 5 years. So it was good to see him playing good, but wasn't rewarded in the minutes in the end. So yeah, I really didn't like the closing lineup, but it took Ludor fouling out to get a decent one.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just going to hop in real quick. I think I agree. I think that changes with Dub and AJ, though. I think you put Dub and AJ in that lineup over against the Knicks specifically with Kaysen and Shea. I think we're just fine there. Tonight, specifically, I didn't necessarily mind it. We didn't have, Dub and AJ, and those are like, even though AJ's not the biggest, those are our bigger wing players. And the Knicks have big wings, and they're pretty good players in OG and McHale. So I didn't mind like Kaysen and Dort being on the floor at the same time. Probably would have ideally had Alex Caruso over Lou in the end there, but he got injured. So I didn't really think, there was much we could have done there.
I'll jump in.
I will be happy, Young.
I think we're all happy, obviously, that we got the win here. But I think it's just more of a thought process thing when you have players that are available. And I know Hartenstein got hurt. Obviously, Alex Caruso had his hip contusion during the game, so he wasn't available. I feel like he'd probably be the guy that would take that spot. And I was thinking, obviously, of J-Dub, maybe even AJ being out there. But truthfully, I think if Mark has the ability and option, he's going to still put Dort out there. He'll put Dort alongside Chet, alongside J-Dub, alongside AJ and Shea as a lineup rather than Kaysen, Wiggins, or Joe. I still think he still has that as a hierarchy. And I think it's time to just let it go. Like we've seen, I keep mentioning, like we've seen enough of a sample size. They're pretty much guarding him like Draymond Green, which is, I mentioned to you guys in our group chat, they're guarding him like he has the plague. Like they don't want to even step near him. They're forcing all the switches as far as like the, passes on the perimeter towards him. They're pretty much funneling everything towards him, all the action. They don't mind if he gets open drives to the basket because what he's going to do is literally just, throw it to the basket or try to, do something out of the ordinary. He's not been a playmaker pretty much throughout his career. I know early on in his career, I've seen his film, like he was a solid guard, but from an NBA perspective, that's not who you want having the ball, creating. And I think it's just a big issue. I think it's time to move away. Yep. I'd prefer Kaysen in that spot, and I think he's earned it through this whole year. Like He's outperformed him defensively, offensively, and I'm not sure. I haven't been looking at the comments. I know they're probably going crazy considering all the laughing.
Not really. Evening U-Haul. Anyway, I actually want to hop in here and just disagree. Ideally, when Dub and AJ are back, sure. I think Lou Dort had a pretty damn good game. He might have had 2 bad plays down the stretch. Guys, he was the highest plus-minus on the team tonight. He dropped 16 points, made 3 threes, got to the free throw line, drew a couple offensive fouls on Towns. I disagree.
Joe, listen, I love him until the 4-minute mark. Until the 4-minute mark, I don't want to see him.
I agree there. I just don't think, like I said before,
he's fine up until that point. You can run him to the ground going into the fourth quarter, even early in the fourth quarter. But after that, he's pretty much a non-factor. When the game goes into the half-court offense, you need half-court initiators, and he's just not one of them. Like he's elite on defense, but he's not worth having out on the floor.
I'll propose a question to you then really quick, because sure, that's a fair statement. Who do you put in today against that Knicks closing lineup over Dort?
Wiggins, easily.
No, we had the lead. We just had to protect the lead. We needed defense.
I would argue Wiggins should have made it over Joe in that closing lineup. I do agree that there wasn't really anyone that could have replaced Dort because the bench was pretty terrible today. But
I would even take Kenrich in that spot, to be honest.
Well, yeah,
that's fair, but
my point was kind of saying how I think when we're fully healthy, I think Dort needs to get out. I think tonight he didn't play that good, but we didn't really have another option.
But that's my point, though. Even when we have all the options available, I just don't think Mark's going to take him out in those situations. And it's worked out well for us. Obviously, we won a championship with him, but this season has been so bad for so many games. And tonight's game was just like a perfect, scenario to just watch how teams guard him and how, that impacts us late in the game. This shouldn't even have been a game. Like, I think I texted you with maybe 6 minutes left, Joe, that these Knicks are sorry. Like, I was absolutely, shitting on them. And this shouldn't even have been even a close game, even with us not having J-Dub. And for the fact that they even made this type of comeback, and that was mainly because Lou Dort was in for that long. So
I think you got to consider Hartenstein only getting 17 minutes, Caruso getting injured. Caruso was playing great early on, 4 assists, 3 points in 12 minutes. A lot went into it. The back-to-backs for both teams, you kind of expected. The line was 4.5 for a reason, right? And, I mean, the books kind of hit that on the money. I do want to switch over here. Let's focus on Chet Holmgren for a minute. And there was actually one question I did want to answer, and I lost it. Somebody asked who's winning the Fun Belt Conference. Troy. Anyway, Chet Holmgren goes into Madison Square Garden and is just Steph Curry from deep in the first half. He had 22 in the first half, finishes the game with 28. I could be wrong here, but I believe 5 or 6, all of the threes were all in the first. No, 5 of them were in the first half, I believe. Either way, he dominated. And without that performance from Chet tonight, OKC loses this game. Guys, I don't care who starts. Gabe mentioned he wants to see that every night. Now, we know we're not going to see that every night. But that's like a different leap of Chet Holmgren because that's 6 3-pointers. That's not him just scoring under the basket. That's really good shooting. And he took 11 of them.
I wanted to add on to that. Sorry, I did the unmute button. I wanted to add on to that. I mentioned that as well, Joe, where I agree. It's not like I'm expecting him to come out and hit 6 3-pointers, but the difference between him like even having the chance to shoot 11 3-pointers tonight is that aggressiveness and that confidence. And even if he comes out and he just plays that way and doesn't hit all those threes, I'm still happy to see him playing that confident because we need to see that aggression from him. We need to see him taking those mismatches and actually posting up. And he's got a post bag. Like he absolutely does. And we just don't see it that much because sometimes he's floating around on the 3-point line trying to get open. Like I want him down low when he gets a mismatch, posting up. And tonight, Wiggins especially was feeding him every single time he was posted up. And every time he was posted up, he was taking whoever it was straight to the hoop, backing him down 4 feet, hitting a fade on him. But it was the freest 2 points over and over and over. I need to see him playing that aggressively every single game. And because of that, eventually it leads to him getting open shots and getting open threes. So no, he's not going to hit 6 threes every single game, but if he plays this aggressive every game, we are going to see those points fly up, in my opinion. Like it's just that's just how basketball works. Like when you have that size advantage, and that's something that a lot of fans have complained about is they say he's weak, they say he's not strong. I disagree. It's not that he's weak. It's that he just doesn't take shots that he should be as much where he's backing people down. He can back people down. He just doesn't do it that much. When he seeks out the mismatch, gets in the post and starts going down, he's hard to stop. I mean, he's stronger than people think. He can shoot over anyone that he gets switched onto. Like there's so many reasons why Chet needs to keep playing this way for this team to reach its maximum potential.
And this is what we're going to be paying him for next year, is playing exactly like this. And we're seeing glimpses of it now. And quite honestly, what I've been saying all year is it's got to be not quite to this extent, but somewhat to this extent the whole of next year when we're paying him a max contract. He's got to be performing like this. And there's some games where he takes a back seat even when he's meant to be the first option. Lets Kaysen go for 30 or Isaiah Joe goes crazy.
Right.
And he needs to have the aggressiveness or just the one for the ball. Like he's a pretty good basketball player and he needs to go like, give me the ball so he can get his shots up because they will drop. And if they don't, then he can have an off night, but not even attempting that much, as Gabe was saying, is the key here, really.
Yeah, they got him involved. I like them getting him involved tonight early, and then obviously the shots were falling, so he kept going. With Chet, I talked about this decently on the pregame show earlier today. It's with SGA and J-Dub, Chet's a different animal, and I think people were kind of forgetting that. And I know, Jack, you make the point sometimes, which is a fair point. Like, if you're going to pay him that much money when those guys are out, he should be the number one option. But we kind of paid him knowing that if those two guys are there, or just one, clearly, he is that level of player and talent. Obviously, the defense comes along with it, altering every shot that's in the paint. But with J-Dub especially, they have a connection. It raises Chet's level of play every time you see them out there together. So I'm not necessarily worried at all about Chet Holmgren's production. Now, seeing the 28 points is really nice. If Chet really could just average what he's been for us, 18 points a game, that's all we need. And then he's been rebounding fantastic. His rebounding numbers have been great. He had 21 against Denver, I think 11 against Dallas. He gets 8 tonight. And he gets 8 rebounds running around chasing OG Anunoby all night. So really impressive stuff from Chet Holmgren tonight. Very excited where he's at in his player progression. Gentlemen, does anyone else have anything else on Chet, or we can move right into everyone's favorite segment of the night because people have been missing it, and so have I.
Can I hit a question real quick in the comments?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Seriously question here. Caleb asked, theoretically, could the lack of bench production tonight be a downfall down the stretch? No, because this isn't a common thing. We've been talking recently about how efficiently the bench has been able to take care of business. This was the first time in a while where we've really felt like the bench just did not come through. And I think that's partly because of the way the Knicks play. The Knicks just have a really aggressive physical type of play that kind of reminds me of the Spurs, where we can get caught up and we can really struggle. And if the shots aren't falling, the bench is going to look really bad. But frankly, the shots just weren't falling for the bench. Like, it wasn't like they weren't getting good looks. McCain had several good looks. They just weren't falling. Isaiah Joe was getting the shots that he's been hitting. The last month, he's been shooting over 50% from three. They're just not falling tonight. So it's a good question because, like, we're so used to the bench coming through, and then when they don't, it becomes a close game. But asking if it could be a downfall down the stretch, the bench didn't come through and we still won. And we beat a team that's really good. And we still don't have J-Dub and we still don't have AJ. So
I was going to mention we don't have AJ Mitchell, who is clearly the best bench player on this team. Maybe even he could possibly be a starter. I know Jack, as we talked about that a lot during the course of the season while he was playing. But throwing in AJ there, it's a different animal because now you got guys all over the place. And we mentioned this last night on the live, Caleb. If Isaiah Joe's off, then McCain needs, he could be on. But if they're both off, then AJ Mitchell, would be playing pretty well in a perfect world. And if he's off, then, you get Caruso with his scrappy play off the bench. You get J. Will coming in to guard guys. It's a deep bench. So when AJ's back, and then you throw maybe like Kaysen on there too, the bench is going to be just fine. And we're actually really excited for this bench. I think it's one of the better bench tandems since like the 2016 Warriors. So that's my take on that. Sapper, you had something to say about Chet?
Yeah. He had 14 in the first quarter. He was 4 for 4 from the three-point line, and then goes into the half with 22 with 6 made three-pointers, and I believe that's his career high, which ties his career high, and ends up with 28. I feel like we this is kind of a good formula for Chet, and I've mentioned this plenty, and it goes for most of the bigs on most teams, like even Karl Anthony Towns or JJJ is another example, or even Anthony Davis. When you have bigger guys that don't necessarily need the ball in their hands or even play calls for them, if you can get them play calls early in games and get them involved, that only benefits you down the stretch, because at that point, SGA is that much, less tired. He's done that much, less scoring for us. And going into the fourth quarter, I think that helped us a lot. When I looked at SGA, he hadn't broken a sweat up until that point. And that's something I love to see. So if we can get Chet going early in more games, I think that would be beneficial. And Gabe's been mentioning it, like he's hunting the mismatches. You saw that even in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. He knows exactly kind of what spaces on the floor to get to. But I think the next evolution in his game is this isolation one-on-one. If he can start doing this at this high of a level, yeah, I mean, the floor or the ceiling is as high as he wants it to be, in my opinion. I know he's an all-star right now, but he can definitely become a all NBA first team type of guy if he can start doing this more on a regular basis. And I have the confidence in him from the jump that he can be this type of player. We just, I guess, don't give him that opportunity. And he's just, I guess, fortunate to be on a team like this where he doesn't need to do that. Yeah. And he can expend more defensively, but he clearly has it in his bag that he could do this on most nights. Like he could be a 23 points per game scorer on the same level of defense. I just think he doesn't get the opportunity because we have so many offensive pieces.
Yeah, you throw him in Brooklyn, he averages 25 at least. Anyway, this is a great comment. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. I'll be in the Bronx soon, going to some Yankee games, but appreciate your comment, man. We are going to get to everyone's favorite segment of the night, and I am so excited. And I can already guess what jersey he's wearing. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves.
What the is Jack wearing?
All right, if you're new to the stream, Jack wears a Thunder jersey after every OKC game and every live that he's on. He's been very busy with college as of late. But he is here tonight, and what is he wearing is the question. And Satbeer, man, I'm sorry, but I'm going to you first.
Man, it's always me. I'm not shying away from this. This is Chet Holmgren jersey. It has to be. I mean, he hasn't scored 28 points since I think January or something like that. So it's been a long while since we've seen a big Chet game. He was close to hitting that 30 mark, which I've been waiting for a while. I wish he had gotten to that one, but yeah, it's got to be Chet. Bengals. Me and you got this tonight. And if Jack decides to pull a fast one, that's on Jack, man. Just letting us down at this point.
This is a great guess by Caleb. I don't think that's the one. I think everyone's going Chet. Gabe, what is your thoughts?
Hear me out here. What if he's playing a mind game here and he's
don't do that.
Everyone's gonna think it's Chet, but in reality, it's Aaron Wiggins. But he got the Wiggins jersey signed. Never mind. He's not going to be wearing that. It's Chet.
I do think he has the Wiggins jersey signed, but I think he has another one. But I think the other one is the City Edition. Is somebody playing music or something? Or am I just hearing that?
I definitely hear that vaguely.
Yeah. The ice cream truck is outside of my Toledo.
That's what it is.
Oh my God, what is going on? Anyway, my thoughts, Gabe. Why do you have to do that? Now I'm all over the place.
I'm sorry. I just want to be different.
I think Jack's a stand-up guy, and I think he'll give credit where credit's due. And I'm going to go with Chet Holmgren as well. I don't want to tag along with everybody because literally everybody in the chat has Chet Holmgren tonight. But I'm going with it, so we'll go with Chet.
I'm switching to Shea.
All right. This is one of the nights where only one person has guessed someone else. Remix vlogs with AJ. But I can confirm no one has it right.
What?
Kenny Hustle.
I told you. This is the most mind game thing of all time. And
you know what?
To do with the game.
Well, what? In my defense, if I'd gone with the Chet, 50 people would have got
That's why I was thinking he isn't going to go Chet.
Yes, the jersey. That is not
how it works. That gives you real ball knowledge tonight because there's something we didn't bring up, and that is Kenrich Williams. He came in the fourth quarter and made some big-time plays. He drew a charge. He makes a three from the top of the key and kind of extended that lead and kind of – Leone here. But kind of like stretched out the lead to the point where the Knicks couldn't come back. They almost did anyway. But shout out to Kenrich Williams because it was a really good fourth quarter from him.
And if you watch our members only video from this week, we're talking about rotations, and I mentioned how Kenrich Williams is going to be one of those spot rotational minute guys. Same with Jared McCain, who come in for 2 or 3 minutes and try and make an impact. And if they do, they'll play a bit more. And that's exactly what we saw from Kenny tonight. We needed a spark in the fourth, and he came in, got a charge, got a 3, and really turned this game around when we needed it most.
Anyway, this chat's all over the place today. I got to keep moving on. Tonight, it was a really good win for OKC. Like I mentioned before, it's the back-to-backs have been killer. I think this is the first time OKC won in a back-to-back this year, maybe the second. Really bad record. The Knicks looked pretty pumped up in that third quarter. They made their run. They go up 3 to end the quarter. Gabe and I are struggling to keep our minds straight because every game, no matter what type of game it is, we go nuts. OKC kind of jumps back on track in the early fourth and kind of ends it there. Interestingly enough, that like I mentioned, the Knicks did take that third quarter. You saw the legs kind of give out on OKC, but we get the win. That's all that matters. Now they're on a 4-game win streak, and they're going back home. And like I mentioned, hopefully, and I say this I'm pretty confident while I say this, Golden State, I believe AJ Mitchell and J-Dub both will be back. That being said, gentlemen, Sapphire, we talked about it a little bit in the pregame, so I'm going to let Gabe and Jack go first, and then we'll talk about it after. Getting J-Dub back, getting AJ back, obviously we lost a few guys again tonight, but it looks like a fully healthy OKC team. We got a stretch of Warriors, Nuggets, Celtics, Timberwolves coming up at home. Your guys' expectations and how excited are you to watch the Oklahoma City Thunder play basketball, man?
Yeah, for me personally, it's just nice to see things starting to feel good again. We're starting to see things click the way that they're supposed to. I mean, as soon as AJ gets back, I think it's going to feel way better once again. Like, especially AJ. Like, I want Jada back desperately, but like watching AJ affect the team the way that he had in the start of the season was that was crazy. I mean, seeing the way that he could run the second unit, play make, hit threes, everything, like it was truly like watching a guy who was slowly becoming a star in front of our eyes, and like seeing him come back and finding out how he's going to fit into this rotation, because we know he'll be instantly getting minutes, is something I'm really looking forward to. So just watching Shea continue to be great, watching Chet start to get more confident in his game, I hope, watching AJ return, seeing all of the bench guys starting to figure out where they fit, where they can make the most out of their minutes. Like, all this is so exciting to me. I mean, we just got to hope that injuries stay out and we don't see anything else happen too bad. I mean, obviously we talked about Caruso and Hartenstein going out tonight, but as long as we just take it easy, rest players sometimes. We only have 19 games left in the season, so resting players, not trying to always go all out every single game, I think is okay as long as we keep that 1 seed. So I'm just excited to watch Thunder basketball again, to watch SGA go out and take care of business. So great win. This is really necessary. We talked about it yesterday, how this was a really big game, and to go out and win this one the way we did was something that ultimately, despite having a really rough third quarter, to come out in that fourth quarter in probably the hardest place to play in the entire NBA, to come out and play when that crowd was rocking, by the way, they were really getting into it, getting loud. To respond to that and come out and end up pulling away is something that I'm really proud of this team. So I can't wait to see what's next.
I just want to hop in real quick. Sorry, Jack. Hold on. I meant to click this one. Sorry. We shot 2 more free throws, and the Knicks shot like 70% from the line. They're very fortunate. Anyway, Jack, go ahead.
Yeah, this is such a pivotal moment for the Thunder. Getting back AJ and J-Dub is huge. We saw J-Dub progressing in the right kind of way. If he's still progressing like that, I mean, he's been working on his shot a lot whilst he's been out. Will he carry on? It's a big crossroad in the season, because if not, like if both of them are suffering from these injuries and it shows in their game, then we're going to have to stick with them, but it's going to be pretty detrimental to the Thunder. But if they're back, then it's next level, and no team's coming close to this, because we've got Casey Wallace dropping 30. Isaiah Joe's crazy. Jared McCain's crazy. Like, with 12 men, we can go 12 men against anyone, and any of them can go for 30. And it's either the next level up or a step back, and we're going to have to refine our footing before the playoffs. So it's a bit nervous, but nerve-wracking, but we'll see what happens.
Don't be nervous. I'm here to tell you, don't be nervous, because I saw J-Dub come back and he looked like J-Dub of last year, or the J-Dub we know. He looked really confident in his shot. The wrist didn't seem to bother him at all. Obviously, we got to keep the hamstring intact. All right. He's got to, that's my only concern with him right now. And that's a good thing, because in the bulk of the season when he first came back, we are like, bro, we can't play him with this wrist. He looked awful. He was shooting 20% from three. He was affecting the games differently, but now with him, the wrist looks good. He's getting shots up, looks to be fully healthy. Very excited with him coming back. AJ Mitchell, that's one where I'll see. I don't know, Jack. I think he was our second best player for the bulk of the season while he was there.
He has been, and I would still argue it to this day.
Yeah, and I don't think he's gonna skip a beat. I know he's been out quite a while, but his game is just so polished, and he's only a second-year player, and he barely played in his rookie season with the injury, and he's kind of barely played this year. But what we've seen from him is just an outstanding player off the bench and possibly even in the starting lineup. So I'm not worried much at all, Sapir. Sapir, you're muted, bro.
I think as far as AJ coming back, I'm not sure about his timeline. I think I mentioned it before. I think he picked up some sort of knick-knack injury along the way, and we'll have a better idea tomorrow, at least as far as him. But I know for sure J-Dub should be returning for this stretch. I thought it would be tonight, but I forgot that the reevaluation date is actually for tomorrow, so we should have a better idea on both of them. And that's the only way we really will have an idea if either of them will be back for this stretch. But I'm definitely hoping on J-Dub. Once AJ does return, I'm curious how this lineup shakes up, because we've got so much good guard play all over the place. It's just mind-boggling the direction that Mark will go. And Leone's mentioning promises. Yeah, we're hoping that the guys return.
I'm fully confident, Leone. At least AJ. I got the report this morning that AJ is like, I'd be surprised if he's not back here this weekend at least. So we'll see.
I think that's fantastic that you're fully confident on AJ and I'm over here fully confident on J-Dub. So both of them must be true, that we're getting both these guys back.
Yeah, there were a few questions I do want to get to here. Don't want to miss any. Be honest, no, they didn't call it. Maybe, but they didn't call it, so it wasn't a foul. There was one more. I think it was Caleb again. Caleb, I can't find it, but Northern Iowa. Anyway, you guys have you know what? We don't have it yet. I almost said let's get in the Gabe segment, but we don't have it yet.
It's brewing.
It is brewing. I'm getting excited. Yeah, I spoke with him personally. Thank you, Leone. You just sparked my mind here because I meant to bring it up earlier. Gentlemen, really good win. Very excited with the win. I knew it was going to be a struggle. The back-to-backs have been killing us. There's one thing I got to bring up, and I just want opinions. I'm not hating on nobody, not hating on Mark again, but last year, all OKC did in those close games, Satmir, I held my tongue there, bit my tongue there, was foul, foul, foul. Today, Mark said, no, we're not going to foul. Brunson misses the three, and then luckily OG misses the three to tie at the buzzer because he was open. He was open. Why did Mark make me first go gray and then second pull out my hair in the playoffs, all playoffs long, because he did it all playoffs long, Satmir. And then tonight he decided, you know what, we're not fouling. Because I think tonight would have been the ideal situation to foul. They had 6 seconds left on the clock. By the time he catches it, there's 5. You fouled. Game's over, Mark. Last year he was fouling with like 25 seconds on the clock, dude. Like, what are we doing, Satmir? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think he just learned that this team may not be suitable for that play style. Like, we don't have no offense to these guys, we don't have LeBron James, and that's probably the only instance that you should be doing that situation in, when you have a guy like LeBron that can understand and control the full momentum of the game. So I'm glad we went away from that. I think he mentioned it on Mind the Whatever Game podcast that he's on with JJ at the time. And from there, Mark was like, oh, that's such a great idea. And he proceeded to do that all playoffs long. And I just thought that was the wrong play call for this set of personnel that we have. I just don't think it fits kind of our style. I don't want to be going in a free throw battle where our only consistent free throw shooter really that I want to count on is SGA, especially with most teams letting Chet Holmgren receive the ball when it comes to free throw scenarios. I just think from that perspective, it's not a good look. And he realized that. He watched probably all that film back, and we were better off just not fouling. Also, SGA, that 3-point shot that he made ended up being the difference in this game. We didn't score another point in that final minute. We just pretty much solely relied on the defense. And I prefer going out with our defense the way we've done all season, even the last season. What do you guys think about that? I'm curious, would we, be this successful with – also, I want to mention this as well. With this performance, SGA has officially locked up Clutch Player of the Year. I mean, as long as he plays the rest of his games out for that minimum, he should definitely win that as well. Jack?
Yeah. Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah. Defense wins championships. Our whole identity is defense. And I mean, it showed tonight, but like building a team around defense and defensive, the mentality that everyone gives it all on defense, including your MVP, but then fouling and not trusting your defense never really made sense to me last year, especially when, I mean, there's no doubt about it, but Chet's not a great clutch time free throw shooter. It's quite scarring to watch him step up. So we're not really suited for that game plan, like you guys have been saying, and it was stupid. But I'm glad we trusted our defense tonight. Covered Brunson pretty good. He still got the shot off, and then the tap out to OG Anunoby was something else. Who was it? Someone just taps it. I believe it was on our team. Taps it straight to OG.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I tap it out to the 3-point line. Didn't make much sense, but outside of that, it was pretty well executed in the last. I mean, Brunson had been shooting 20% from the field and taking a fadeaway corner 3. You'd live with that, but it was just a rebounding. But normally we'd have Harnstein and he'd grab that and would be sweet. So I was pretty pleased with how we ended the game. Yeah,
I want to touch on that SGA 3, Savvy. I'm happy you brought it up. I missed a few things tonight, and that's on me. That was unexpected. He hasn't been shooting the 3 well since he came back from injury, I'm going to say. He was shooting it well all season long, really, but since the injury, he's kind of been up and down with it. I didn't see it coming. And when it went in, I was like, he's just the best. He's literally the best because who has the balls to take that shot? It's his first 3-point attempt of the game. It's late fourth quarter. He hasn't been shooting it well. It's clutch time. And he said, I'm shooting it. And he made it in Madison Square Garden on ESPN. It was just absolutely that's just he's the best. I got nothing else. He's the best. It took me by surprise, but why should it at this point? Nothing should take me by surprise with him. Hofstra. Anyway, Caleb. But yeah, that was awesome. Gabe, your thoughts on that shot? Because that was unbelievable.
Yeah, that was huge. And you mentioned like the balls to take that huge shot and take just in that moment and knock down the 3 like that. How often does it feel like he knocks down a 3 in that exact scenario though? It feels like there are so many times where Shea just steps up to bat in those moments, and it's always when you need the 3 the absolute most that it feels like he comes up, just knocks it out every single time. To have a player like that, it's you can't put a value on that. There's very few players in the NBA that you can just trust to go get you a bucket from any point on the floor at any time. Like having that big of a moment to just step up without, like you mentioned too, Joe, that's his first 3-point attempt of the game. Like a lot of guys need to get their 3-point, like their shot figured out across the game, right. Take a couple shots, get some shots up. The confidence that I just know he has to step up to that and know, like to feel fully confident that he's going to hit that is insane. It's unparalleled. No one else in the league, I think, has. Only guy I can really think of is like Anthony Edwards. Like those two have so much confidence in their ability to step up and just knock down the shot at the most important part of the game. That's what he did tonight. So it doesn't get bigger than that. Shea is still, like Xavier said, proving why he's the most clutch player in the NBA, proving why he should be winning MVP. He's just got to play the games, and he'll be a back-to-back winner for sure. So cold, bro. Best player in the world. I can't believe it. I do want to take 2 minutes here because I have a problem. And I'm not like hating on these guys because honestly, I don't know them. I think their podcast is great. I listen to it. So they seem like good guys. The Locked On Nuggets podcast. Let me tell you something. And I'm going to 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Ryan Blackburn and Matt Moore. I think their show is fantastic, by the way. Locked On Nuggets.
I have a real problem with what they said about SGA today. First off, they said he's not the best player in the world and he's not close. Second, they said that Jokic affects the game so much offensively, where they say Shea's a good defender, but he's really only the 8th best defender on the team. I do want to bring something up. Shea has the best net rating in the NBA. He's top 4 offensively. I know Jokic is number 1. He's also like top 6 in the NBA with defensive rating. Jokic is not on the list. So when you're bringing it up and you're doing sassy remarks, you got to be able to back it up with stats. It's a bad look. It's a bad look because, yeah, you could ride Jokic all you want. He's your player. I'm going to ride with my guy too. Sure. But bringing up stupid, like, oh, he's just not a good defender. He's 8th best on the team. Well, he's got the best net rating in the NBA. He's top 6 in defensive rating, and he's top 4 in offensive rating. It doesn't get better than him. He's finals MVP. He's reigning MVP. He's a reigning NBA champion. You guys haven't beaten him since he took you out in the playoffs last year. So just get his name out your mouth for 1 second. Again, respect the guys on that show, but you got to come with some real stats and some real points if you're just going to make these dumbass remarks. And I think that's why I just think Denver's really butthurt about where OKC is right now because they've lapped them, and it's cool. Like I'll talk shit about Jokic, but I'll bring stats to it. Don't talk on a really good show too. Don't bring up stupid stuff if you're not going to back it up, bro. That's all I have to say. Anyway. Satver, do you have any stats to close us out tonight?
Yeah, we're 2 games from tying the Wilt record, 3 games from beating it. That would be the Celtics game for the 20-plus points per game for SGA. Other things that are really good to bring up here, 4 straight wins, 5 straight over the Knicks, 7 games, 7-0 for SGA personally. We also snapped the Knicks 3-game win streak that they were having. We also have a 3.5 game lead over the Spurs currently, and that's pretty much it. The one thing I do want to end off the show with here, because I know we're about to close out. Mike Brown had a backhanded compliment for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in his post-game presser. He said he does a great job of convincing the referees, probably better than anyone else in the league, that he's getting hit. If he's doing such a great job of just convincing them, then why didn't you challenge late in the game every time SGA got fouled?
Yeah,
that's the real question here, right? Like,
well, he had challenges.
If he's no, that's what I'm saying. If he's so good at just convincing them and not actually getting the foul, why aren't you challenging it? It's that easy, right?
Well,
clearly
actually,
he's getting fouled. Clearly, Mike Brown doesn't even believe the own BS coming out of his mouth.
Yeah,
but he decides to do backhanded compliments similar to every other coach in the NBA. It's kind of getting, it's just, laughable. I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing in saying these statements because they want the referees next time around to second guess whether SGA is getting fouled or not. And it does impact our team. We've seen clearly the more and more you comment about SGA as a free throw merchant, it eventually catches up to SGA and impacts him and impacts our team because he's the only one getting to the free throw line as it is. So it's just silly. It's clear that he's getting fouled, and I
want to hop on.
And if he thought twice about it, why didn't he just challenge all those calls where he apparently didn't get fouled?
Yeah, what a miserable comment, Xavier. I'm kind of happy and pissed you brought that up because I didn't even see that. And honestly, good thing you brought it up on the show because Shai had 7 free throws tonight. 1 was a technical from Mike Brown, so he got to the line 3 times. He got to the line 3 times in a 4-quarter game. And the last foul on Towns, I'm sorry, dude. They replayed it on ESPN, and ESPN said you fouled him. And again, I want to shout out Mike Breen and I forget who was with him tonight. Whoever the second announcer was, they were fantastic because you know what? I was watching an ESPN game with the sound on for the first time in a while because Doors wasn't on there. They're talking about maybe questionable calls, but they're not like, I think that's a foul and that, I think that's a bad call. I really do. That's my Doris impression. No, they were like, well, the refs made the right call there. Honestly, it could have gone either way. Either way, this is a great game. We're enjoying what we're watching. SGA is so good. Jalen Brunson's so good at what he's doing. Cat's playing well. It was fantastic tonight on ESPN. Really good job by ESPN. Tim Legler, that's the name. Let's have them for the finals, please. I beg you, because
that's, I think, their number one rotation, it's usually them two, and then RJ joins them as well. And I feel like all three of them have great discourse because they actually know NBA basketball. Like they're one of the few ESPN people that they have left. Like Tim Legler's a ball knower. RJ's
NBA
fantastic. Yeah, NBA player as well. So those are the only guys left with decent NBA discourse left on ESPN. They fired the rest of them. So I'm glad they pick up the big games.
Yeah, it was good. I had a really good time watching the game tonight. Anyway, before we leave, do you guys have anything else you want to touch on tonight? Sorry, that was
one last thing I was going to add with the conversation we were just having. It's to the point where, like, talking to OKC fans here, everyone listening, it's not even worth the energy anymore of arguing with people about Shea and about fouls and about all that stuff, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter what people argue, because if we win back-to-back championships, no controversial call, no heavy argument debate is going to take those rings away. Like, we won the finals with the same type of treatment we're getting now from fans hating us. It's never going to stop. Like, it's going to keep happening. So we'll probably have this discussion again in the future because it's impossible to avoid, but it's not worth the energy. Like, it's just not worth arguing in comments. It's not worth arguing with people because no one will ever understand it. They're going to hate you because you're successful, and they're going to continue to hate Shea because he gets free throws despite always being one of those guys who has shot less free throws compared to like Kobe and Jordan and other historical players who we love and adore, but we act like Shea's the villain.
Dude.
When, by the way, tonight, watching Jalen Brunson do everything that everyone hates that Shea does, but no one mentioning it is just insane. So it's just not worth the energy. It's not worth the breath. It's just let our players, let our team win, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. And to finish up here, I mean, it's getting so bad they're even trying to like bring up old Kobe tape and start hating on Kobe Bryant, which is just insane. Anyway, with that being said, Bengals, I can't pull that comment up, but that's hilarious. You made me laugh in my head. I really had to hold it in together there. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to play the Thunder either, and I'm not trying to be cocky. Like, who would? Like, you got anybody else besides OKC? With that being said, this was a great live. I want to thank everybody tuning in to the Bring the Thunder podcast post-game show tonight. Very happy to get the whole crew back for tonight. I have to run because I sliced my finger open during the show. Didn't even know how. But if you guys did enjoy the content, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn post notifications on, and we will see you guys when? We have an episode dropping tomorrow, right? No, 2 days from now.
Joe, we can just end it.
We'll see you Saturday.